When Elena adopted a young kitten, it wouldn't stop meowing. She tried everything to figure out how to help her new pet, and soon discovered the sad reason behind its pleading. Ares was a 4-month-old kitten, and the weather was merciless to any unfortunate being stuck outside. It would only get colder and more dangerous. Ares was lucky that rescuers were on the lookout for stray animals, especially in this icy December. Just as the ground began to freeze overnight, Ares and his companions were found huddled together for warmth. He was found in Wisconsin with some other cats and taken to a shelter. By the end of the year, Ares had turned into a beautiful red tabby kitten, and within a few weeks he had gained weight. His fur had become soft and shiny, just like the other rescued animals. After some love and care, Ares was happy and thriving, except for one small factor. Animal shelters have a limited time frame for how long they can accommodate and care for such animals. In winter, Ares would surely still be in the shelter, but afterward he would need a permanent home. The shelter, Wisconsin Humane Society, was very conscientious and attentive to the schedule their animals were on. Thanks to the word of mouth of social media, they were actually able to quickly find a foster family for the entire group of cats. A friendly woman named Elena took in the red tabby kitten on the day they met. When Elena visited the shelter, Ares immediately felt drawn to her. The staff explained to her how exceptional that was. Before Elena, Ares had refused to leave the side of his stray companions to approach a human, but between these two, there was something effortless and natural, as if they were old friends who already knew each other very well. With a single glance, Elena knew this cat needed a safe, loving home, and she had the knowledge and resources to help, so she took him with her. Elena was already the proud owner of an adorable little dog, Cisco. She knew how to take care of animals and had previous experience with foster cases. She had planned to settle down and start a family, so she bought a large house where the animals could roam free. Her home was both pet and family friendly, the perfect setting. However, Elena didn't realize how challenging it would be for Ares to adjust to his new life with her. The poor thing meowed the entire way home, only stopping when it finally fell asleep. The house had a guest room that would later become Elena's bedroom. In the meantime, it served as a perfect space for Ares. Equipped with water, toys and treats, Elena allowed the red tabby kitten to set up his own haven in the guest room. Having a designated space could help him relax and feel comfortable. At least that was Elena's intention, but Ares didn't like being left alone. When she left him there, he would start yowling and scratching the walls. Elena tried many different tactics to help calm and soothe Ares. She knew he didn't want to be alone, so she tried to shower him with love and affection. Elena brought a beanbag chair into the room, so she could be in the solo room with the kitten. This way, Ares could freely roam and approach her on his own terms. Over time, the little kitten timidly snuggled up to Elena while she sat in the soft chair. She held him close, and for a few minutes his crying subsided, only to start again shortly after. Elena couldn't solve this puzzle. The poor animal cried incessantly, and with each passing day it became more unbearable. Elena only got a respite when the poor cat slept. However, she had to attend her work and other obligations, so she bought a bunch of comfortable things for the kitten. She got stuffed animals, blankets and a toy. She also attempted to separate him from Cisco to see if the dog was contributing to Ares' stress, but it only seemed to make her crying worse. So Elena placed Cisco in the guest room with Ares, but then he would hide in the corner and sob. Elena was at her wit's end. The kitten despair was so deep that nothing seemed to help. She needed to find an answer to calm Ares, and quickly. Feeling perplexed, Elena made one final attempt to figure out how to help Ares. She turned to the professionals again. Elena called the animal shelter to explain the situation. She had never encountered such a problem before. She wondered if this behavior was normal or if something seriously was wrong with Ares. The thought of the poor kitten being in pain was the worst. Elena knew she couldn't bear with that. Fortunately, she was able to speak with the senior staff member who had taken care of Ares when he first arrived at the shelter. The staff member had been absent on the day Elena took him home and only found he was gone upon returning to work. He hadn't stopped thinking about Ares and was eager to hear an update from Elena. However, she then explained what was happening. She told the staff member about the innocent meowing and her growing concerns about the cat's condition. She wanted to help inquire whether she should bring the poor thing back or how to obtain professional help. but the staff member immediately knew what was wrong with Eris. Elena was searching for answers, but she was completely taken back when she learned the sad truth behind Eris' particular behavior. The shelter staff explained that crucial information about Eris had been missing. She was actually not alone in the world. She had a twin sister named Aphrodite, who was also part of the group of cats at the shelter. Eris and Aphrodite had been particularly inseparable since the moment they arrived at the shelter. Just a few days ago, Elena visited the shelter and found Eris. Aphrodite had already been chosen by another family, so she was kept separate when Elena met her. The staff had placed her in a separate cage to avoid confusion for visitors. Fortunately, the adoption fell through. The staff member explained how sad and inconsolable Aphrodite had been. Elena could relate to that. The twins missed each other. Without hesitation, Elena was already in her car, on her way back to pick up Aphrodite before the phone call ended. And when she brought her back home, her brother meowed with joy. Eris and Aphrodite now live happily and peacefully in their new home with the extraordinary Elena and Cisco, the dog who has not just one, but two playmates to love and cuddle with now. All is well that ends well. What would you have done in Elena's place? Share your thoughts in the comments.